I really believe this is an important thing to share with other people, and to other coaches, so they can understand what it really takes to coach. And John Wooden, the greatest basketball coach of all time, and how long it took him to hone his skills, and why we all think it's going to take us less. I don't know. So it's important that we understand this, because we are really affecting the youth and the future generations. Hi guys, Coach Corsi here with California Philippines Bearcats. We are coming to you from Cebu in the Philippines, where we are serving our 10-day quarantine. We are in day 5, which is very exciting. We are running around our 1,200 square foot hotel room. We're blessed with. We are working out, we are reading the Bible, we are reading books, we're praying, we're editing videos, and just trying to stay really busy during these 10 days and really taking one for the kids of the Philippines. So today I want to talk to you about John Wooden and my 21st vlog with John Wooden from his book, My Personal Best. And today we're going to talk about the 1964 National Championship team and really discuss human nature and how that really factored into their winning. John Wooden always felt like this first team was like his first child. It was like his first child, and that he really felt this was a very special team because of that. And so this team had to really come together as a team, and he talks a lot about human nature, and understanding human nature was a huge part of him really bringing this team together. And I'm gonna talk about 3 players: Gail Goodrich, Keith Erickson, and Walt Hazard, and then a little bit about. You probably know the first 3 if you're my age. The last one you probably don't know as well, but I'm going to talk to you about human nature in these 3 guys and how he coached them. So us as coaches, we need to understand human nature, and a lot of coaches will say, if we're not criticizing you, and I don't care about you. And you know what, that works for some players, but a lot of players it doesn't work for at all. And so Gail Goodrich was not one of them. He didn't handle criticism very well. He would shut down if a coach was yelling at him. So John Wooden learned over time that he had to treat Gail much different than the other players. He had to when he wanted to criticize Gail, the first thing he had to do was he'd have to compliment him. And then when he did criticize him, he had to do it in a very kind and gentle way. He had to really massage it in quite a way with Gail Goodrich in order to make sure he didn't shut down. Keith Erickson, totally different. Mr. Clown, fooling around all the time at practice and during games. And John Wooden didn't stand for any of that fooling around or horsing around in practice or at games. It was all about development. Get better, work as hard as you can, be smart, focus. And so with Keith, though, he could criticize Keith and it would just roll right off of Keith. And one of the stories he talks about is when they were at Kansas State getting ready to play, and John Wooden was talking to a reporter before the game, and he saw Keith Erickson at the other side of the court fooling around in the corner of his eye. He literally left a reporter, walked all the way down to Keith Erickson, and Keith saw him coming. And when he was getting close, Keith said to Coach, "Hey, Coach, sorry. Very sorry, it won't happen again, I'll stop." And Coach said to Keith Erickson, "Hey, you're lucky that I had 15 seconds to walk all the way down here and cool off before I got to you, because if not, you would be on a plane back to California right now." Wow, tough coach, disciplinarian. But it never bothered Keith. It rolled right off, and "Sorry, Coach, I'm ready, let's go." Walt Hazard, the third one, again, was quite different. Walt Hazard was a guy that when coach would criticize him or tell him, "I don't want you to," Walt Hazard was the kind of guy that liked to throw around the back passes, through his leg, and John Wooden didn't want any of that. He didn't want any showboating. And so Walt Hazard was the guy, when coach would tell him not to do that, it would get him mad, and he wanted to prove John Wooden wrong, Coach Wooden wrong. And so he would do it anyways. And he'd prove him wrong, and then Coach would bench him. And it took a long time for them to finally come to understanding that Coach had to let him do a little of it, but also Walt had to understand that Coach didn't want much of it. And so they worked together, but he reacted in a way when Coach criticized him. He got mad. He wanted to prove John Wooden wrong. Hirsch was the only player that ever called Coach Wooden John. He never called him Coach. The entire time he played for Coach Wooden, he never called him Coach. He called him John. And so for Coach Wooden, this is very different. But this was Frank Hirsch's personality. So they go into the year, the end of the year, they're undefeated. They're in the championship game as the smallest team to ever play for a national championship game. And the day of the game, he was in the lobby and he was writing out some notes. And reporters came up to him and said, "Hey, Coach, congratulations on making a national championship game, but you're playing Duke, and Duke's a really tall team. Tall teams win. Good job, Coach. Glad you made it here, but there's no way you're going to beat Duke." This really infuriated him, really ticked him off. And he really wanted to prove something, that you don't need to be the tallest team. You had to be the most cohesive team. You had to be the team that was one unit. You had to be a team that worked together, and you had to be a team that understood the press, because the press, nobody could break the press. That was the great thing of that day, is trying to break the UCLA press. And so John Wooden, when he heard that, he got real infuriated. So they went into the game against Duke. They beat Duke 98-83 and became national champions. The next year they came back and they beat Michigan 91-80 to again win the national NC2A national championship. Back to back. All of a sudden, in the reporters' eyes and everybody's eyes, John Wooden was a genius. He won back-to-back championships. But nobody realized that this is a undertaking of understanding human nature, understanding how to coach players over a period of, he calls it 50 years, from when his dad put that tomato basket up in his backyard as a young child. And he says that it took him 50 years to get to this point. It took him 30 years of coaching to get to this point, to hone his skills as a coach, to understand human nature, and to coach every player different. And he said that when he got to that point, 1964, he said that he was set. Didn't stop learning, but really set. He felt he had enough to get there. And so I think us as coaches, we have to really take this to heart, and we have to understand that you as a coach, it's going to take time studying, researching, reading books, watching other coaches coach, good coaches that you like coach, and understanding the philosophies and human nature of your players so that you can best inspire and motivate them, not only for them to be great athletes, but for them to be great people in life and go out and impact the world. So it's way bigger than just basketball, your folk. That what we're talking about as coaches, and it's a tremendous honor and a tremendous duty, you as coaches, to really understand human nature and how to inspire and motivate your players. And it's going to take time. You have to be patient. You have to be willing to hone your craft. Just as you did as a player, you honed your craft, you shot, you got there early, you stayed late, you dribbled and dribbled, you shot, you worked hard. It's the same thing you have to do as a coach. You need to work hard at your craft. You need to work hard at motivating players. So please subscribe, please share this with other people, like, comment. But I really believe this is an important thing to share with other people, and to other coaches, so they can understand what it really takes to coach. And John Wooden, the greatest basketball coach of all time, and how long it took him to hone his skills, and why we all think it's going to take us less, I don't know. So it's important that we understand this, because we are really affecting the youth and the future generations as we coach them, and we need to take a tremendous responsibility in doing it. So thank you guys for watching. I love you guys. Thank you for your support, and I want to encourage you guys to survive, to pray, and to thrive. Go Bearcats! Hey guys, Coach Corsi here. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like, and thanks for being a part of this vision for the future to impact our youth and the next generation. God bless you, and go Bearcats.